are the best players to own for FPL Gameweek 10? Well, I'm pitting the last 4 game weeks of form information against the next 4 upcoming fixtures from an attack perspective to pinpoint those key players. Help me get this one to 500 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off with the latest form charts then, and there seems to be a real range in terms of the output of various teams over the last 4 game weeks. We see the likes of Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool still up there as you would expect. Spurs still remain in the top 3 despite that surprise loss to Crystal Palace last time out. The charts suggest that investment in Spurs remains key. Another team that maybe come as a bit of a surprise is Arsenal, who, despite having a tricky fixture last time out, remain very well in this chart, and it just goes to show that you cannot doubt that consistency from Arsenal right now. But the team out in front by a bit of a margin now is Brentford, who've performed very well, certainly in those last 3 home games. Big wins against Wolves and Ipswich, scoring plenty of goals as well, and they absolutely have the fixtures to continue that run going forward. If we move on now to have a look at the fixture charts, this time again more range than we would normally expect. We see Spurs and Nottingham Forest in joint 3rd place. Now, this fixture chart is taken from Fantasy Football Hub, filtered by attack over the next 4 game weeks, and you can access this plus all the other Hub tools with 30% off and a 7-day free trial. So check out the link in the description for that one. In 2nd place, it's Wolves. They had a torrid start to the season in terms of their fixtures, but the run now is sensational, not just for the next 4 game weeks, but for the next 8. Crystal Palace at home, Southampton at home and Bournemouth at home. We need to start considering their players as transfers in this week. I mentioned in my team selection video yesterday that I'm probably going to go for a move for Ryan Ait-Nouri this week. And then a team that ascend in the fixture charts but are struggling in the form charts, it's Manchester United. Again, 3 home games for them in the next 4. The visit of Chelsea is going to be a tough one, but then Leicester, Ipswich, Everton looks like a really nice run. It's just in terms of pinpointing players that you're prepared to be invested in. It's not that easy given their current form. I think if you were going anywhere, then Garnacho is probably the one that's most appealing. But what we find interesting is that when we pit those form and fixtures together in the charts, the form of Manchester United really hinders them making the top 3 here. Worth noting, Liverpool in that top 3. I look at my team. I don't currently own any Liverpool players, but the form and fixture charts suggest that they really are a team worth investing in. We shouldn't be put off by the trickier run of fixtures because they're not that difficult on paper, and they've got the form to blow away the opposition anyway. They had their first big test last time out against Arsenal in a 2-2 draw. You can't, expect anything better from them. Don't panic if you're Spurs owners, because they are 2nd in the chart with a suggestion that they could still prosper in this spell. Quite a bit of a gap from Liverpool in 3rd place, but just edging them out in 1st place, it's Brentford. Now, Brian and Burmo, among the most owned players in the game now, that's becoming quite template. So we need to think about how else we can invest in Brentford to really succeed. And Burmo has to be a lock with 8 goals in 9, but can we beef up our attacks or even consider the defence and some options there as well? Let's have a look at the best picks. Starting off with the team in 3rd place, Liverpool, and I think there's only one place you can go in terms of our attack right now, and that is Mo Salah. Now, he's a player that I did consider bringing into my team last week, and I think if you forego a premium defence or any premium defenders, then it is possible to get an attack that comprises Haaland, Palmer and Salah. And these latest charts have really got me thinking, is there a route to Salah in my team? It would take 3 free transfers as it stands to do it, but I do have 3 frees. It would also allow me to bring in board Ait-Nouri anyway. So it is a move that I am considering now, having a look at these charts, especially because, as I mentioned yesterday in the team selection video, captaincy, I really do like Mo Salah for the armband as well this week. So it feels like there's probably not going to be a better opportunity to invest. I think we will see rotation with Diaz and Gakpo, so I'm not prepared to go there. Jota currently flagged Darwin, making some good performances. I think it's Salah or bust. Moving on to Spurs. Spurs are a really difficult side to call right now with the injury to Son, the question marks. I think he should be back in, but at 9.9 million, it's difficult to justify his price tag. I mean, you could go with Brennan Johnson, who still feels like the form pick. I still think there's an option with going with Solanke, though. Certainly, if you're a Solanke owner, it would probably be tempting to sell for a Chris Wood this week. But when you look at those 3 home games in the next 4, Villa at home, Ipswich at home and Fulham at home, I think there's enough motivation to at least keep him for the next 2 game weeks, despite the fact that he's blanked in 2 consecutive games and has looked quite quiet. I think you've got to stick with a Spurs attacker for at least this period of time, and Solanke's still the go-to for me, if I'm honest. Moving on to Brentford, though, and Burmo is probably going to be the most bought player again this week, and justifiably so when you look at his form. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see another million bring him on board. He's already in a third of teams. But I think you could look at a double up now from Brentford. I think that's highly justifiable. Johan Visser returned from injury to start against Ipswich. He got a goal and an assist, and his underlying numbers were really, really promising as well. He had 4 shots, 3 on target, 3 big chances. I think it could be the play now to double up. He's only 5.9 million as well. So the double up is on. And, you know, if you've maybe got someone like Calvert-Lewin that you're frustrated with and you can't quite get to Chris Wood, then Johan Visser could be the way to go. Obviously, he's not got the set pieces or the penalties, but it was encouraging to see him play 90 against Ipswich as well. So think about that when you're making your transfers this week. If you found the latest form versus fixture charts useful, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and make sure that you're looking out later in the week for the experts team. I will, of course, be back live on Friday for the press conference stream and the deadline stream on Saturday. Thank you for watching.